Welcome to the Chit Chat Show, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have the pleasure to sit down with a certified business and life coach. Thanks for coming, Audrey.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I hope you are excited too as I am. Please get your pen and paper ready because today she will be giving us valuable tips to people who want to better their work-life experience, anyone who is transitioning to a new culture, business leaders who need help managing stress, conflicts, and improving their public speaking skills. And lastly, people who need the right tools to develop ideas and start a dream project. We will put all of the links in the description for you to contact her directly. Before we begin, what does l'envol mean? How did you come about the idea of using the term for your website?
Well, so l'envol, it's a flight. And it has something a little bit poetic in the French language, let's say. That's, this idea where all the birds are like flying for the first time, and often, or when they have some kind of migration to another part of the world. And in French, I will say it represents a little bit like this. The step that you take, that it's a bit scary, it's like, should I jump, but of course you have wings, so yes, you can jump when you have wings. If not, you don't do that. So that's a bit what it means. It's a little bit like, okay, now I can go, and I decided to fly, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what means l'envol. Yes. It's a fly.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Really
How are you really? I mean, like, really?
Yeah, I think I'm good, yeah.
You're right?
Yeah.
You think or you?
No, I'm sure, actually.
Sure?
Yes, I am.
All right. How's life going for you these days?
Yeah, life is good. I just came back from France. I was on holidays and visiting my family, my friends, and it was really lovely. And life is good. Life is good because it's also a new year, it's like a start. Everything start again, and that I think it's also really good to be able to dig into that new projects and everything.
Yeah. And are you happy?
Yes, I am.
What's your definition of happiness?
Well, that's a good question. For me, it's like when I feel energized, when I have a lot of energy. I will feel it in my body, excitement. Then I will, let's see, I will kind of think that, okay, that's kind of a definition of happiness for me, when I feel my body and my mind is aligned. And when I feel I'm authentic, so meaning that I can be who I want to be without any fear, which is, of course, obviously a little bit impossible to be fearless, but as less as possible fear, and really go for what I want, what are my values, what is important to me.
How's your mental health?
My mental health is good because I keep it in shape, I think.
No stress, no anxiety, none of that.
Well, of course, like everyone else, it's life. So, of course, obviously, sometimes you have stress, sometimes you have, I think, obviously, we go through stress period and things like that. But I have been working a lot on that since a young age, let's say. So I have dig a lot into myself, and I continue to do so. So it's I will say it's pretty good. It's much more aligned now than it has been before. And of course I get help for that. I have my coaches myself, So yes.
Yeah. And what are some things you had to do to observe yourself and get your mental health in check?
I think it's just continue to grow, continue to look at for what I really want and be the most aligned to who I am really. Because of course I still have some step back, some, again, some fears or some stuff that are a little bit like, okay, I withdraw some moment and I think I should just go for it. So when I notice that, basically it's awareness. As soon as I'm aware of all of this, I can work on it. Mm-hmm. I notice it, and then I'm like, okay, what do I want to do to be able to change that? Do I want to change that also? So, yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 40.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from France.
Where in France?
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux?
Yes.
Nice. How's Bordeaux for those who have never been there?
It's a very lovely city. It's a very nice city. It's quite I will say, I mean, small. It's not that small, but the architecture is a little bit like Paris because it's the same architect that has built a little bit the city. Osmanian, yeah, that's the architecture. So it's very cute. A lot of stones. And a lot of small places that you have coffees and surrounded. It's a lot of vineyards because it's a city of wine. So a lot of vineyards around in the countrysides, and the beach is not so far as well. So it's actually very nice. Yeah, it's nice. And
So
the
you
city
grew
itself
up
is
a
nice.
little bit country.
Yes, I grew up in a countryside. Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And what did your parents say when you wanted to move to Denmark?
My mom said I only have my mom left, and she was happy for me, but of course, definitely sad that I was leaving the country because we are very close. So it was. I think it was a hard one for her.
Yeah.
But also very supportive and very happy for me. She say go for your happiness, basically.
How about your dad?
So my dad died when I was 5 years old.
Sorry.
No, it's what it is. It's life. Yeah.
When did you move to Denmark anyways?
Oh, I moved to Denmark in 2015? No, 16. Sorry, 16.
Oh, okay.
9 years ago, actually.
9 years ago.
Yeah, 16. Because it was actually in January, and the end of January, and it was dark. And I moved in January.
You can still remember how dark it was?
Yeah. Definitely.
Dark and gloomy and
yes.
gray.
It really was. It was surprising in a way.
I see. Was it a big contrast to Bordeaux, to the weather in Bordeaux?
Oh, it is. Well, the light. First of all, it's a light because it's less dark in Bordeaux. But I mean, I say that, but no, I just came from Bordeaux and it was very gray, and rainy, and I was like, "What is happening?" Not that it's. I mean, when it's like winter, it's winter. It's not so nice weather in Bordeaux. But it becomes nice weather quite earlier compared to here. Like March, you have really nice weather, and it's really spring, like feeling like a bit warm. Mm-hmm. During the summer, it's very warm. Sometimes it's too warm. And the fall is also longer. So you have a longer autumn, So then you can enjoy October. You can sometimes go to the beach, swim. Not for the winter bath, but for, because it's warm.
I see. That's beautiful, though.
Yeah.
How close are you with your family? You got any siblings?
Yes, I have a big brother. He's 8 years older than me, and my mom, and I'm very close to them. Yeah.
So before becoming a coach, and you were also an entrepreneur, right? You were a tango dancer, trained actress, co-owned a theater for 12 years. Do you mind sharing with us how life was back then? Did you manage all of these activities successfully?
Yes, I mean, it depends on the definition of success that everyone has, but I think it was, definitely. Well, I basically have been all my life kind of an entrepreneur in that sense, in the way that I always work for myself and build things. So it started with a theater. I took an education to become an actress, and I did a 4 years education. Then I became an actress, and then I associate with two other, first of all with one actor, and we build a company, and after we associate with another actor, and then he had a theater, and then we just partner with him in that. So I had for a while 2 companies, and I mean, it was lovely, but it was in my 20s, and it was a lovely experience, a bit overwhelming sometimes, because it's a beautiful job, but it's also very demanding emotionally.
Yeah.
And I was really going through a lot in my personal life, so it was kind of a challenge, but a beautiful one, and I learned a lot. And I learned a lot how to run a business as well at that time, because I had to do everything by myself, of course with my colleagues, but still we were just the 3 of us, in the early 20s, and building a business basically. Yeah.
What were you acting? What kind of roles did you?
Well, it was a different thing. We had. We did for children, like some theater for children. And otherwise, we took some classic, like French classic, like for example Molière. But we played all the character. We were, for example, 3 actors and playing all the characters. So it was. We build it not in the classical way that people think will be a classic, but in a way modern way, which is actually the real way they were building at that time. But that's another story. Not going to enter in that. But yeah. But so really different thing. And a lot of creation as well. I create a clown show. It was without languages and just different sketches.
Beautiful.
Put to and that was so that
A
was
lot of
something
acting.
else. Yes,
I
yes,
love to see you on stage.
Yes. Yeah, well.
Maybe I'll not recognize you anymore.
maybe who knows? Yes.
That's beautiful.
So that was my let's see my the beginning of my journey as an actress. That was the beginning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In your 20s, running 2 companies. That must have been really stressful, right?
No, it was challenging, but not. Sometimes it was stressful, but sometimes not. I mean, it was also really playful, and we were doing what we liked to do. So it was wonderful, and I was having companies with my ex-boyfriend and my best friend. So it was also wonderful. We had a connection that was also very special in that sense.
Yeah,
and a lot of laughing, and we just had a lot of fun. It was very, very fun. But of course, it was also sometimes a bit challenging because you need to put a lot of different hats, and sometimes it's complicated because you need the whole concentration and focus on acting and being authentic and being real. But on the other hand, you need to make sure that you have students coming when you're teaching the theater, or you need to make sure that you can sell the show that you are doing, and so it's a lot of different hats that you put on that are not always easy to jungle with, because sometimes it's like, okay, it's my focus is somewhere else because I need the money, I need the people, I need the students, I need the people to buy the show, I need so in that sense it was a bit stressful in that sense.
True. So how is this work and pleasure balance? How did you find this balance? Because you're working with your ex-boyfriend as a co-owner too. So how did you balance all of these emotions to like separate work and?
I don't think I did. I don't know. I don't know. It was the way it was. Somehow it was, for me, it was natural to do that like that. I didn't. I know people question that a lot, but you were working with and every day spending with him at work and at home and but I don't know. I think it was just the way it was, and I didn't question myself about that much at that time. It was just like. So somehow it was balanced, or maybe it wasn't, but it was good for me at that time. At least it was what I needed.
Cool. So I also know you dealt with lack of confidence in your past life before eventually becoming a coach.
Yeah, definitely.
Where did this self-doubt come from, and how did you overcome it?
Oh, well, I think everyone has some kind of doubt. I mean, it's part of life, and I think mine comes from a background, like my past, my history with my family. I grew up with, I'm very close to my family and to my mom, but I grew up with a bipolar mom. So I often had to put myself a little bit to the side, because that's how you do when you grow up with an adult that it's a bit... you never know what the person's going to be, and the person is not very fine and need a lot of care and need a lot of attention, and a lot of you need to detect a lot of signal to make sure that everything is okay. So I learned to do that quite early then, and then I was a kid. And I think you, as a kid, you just don't have the space that you need to, you cannot take that space because there is no space basically. So I think it started like that, I will say. Making sure that everyone else is fine around me, but totally forgotten myself. So I think that's where it come from. Like discovering like, okay, but who am I? what I want to do, who, what are my resources, what I want, what is important to me, what are my capabilities of my skills, and all of this I had to discover during. I think everyone has to discover that anyway, but
Yeah.
but I really had to, because I always put everyone else in front of me, so I had to take care of myself at some point.
Yeah.
So that's where it come from.
That's tough. As a young girl, this was probably tough, right? Going on stage most of
Yes.
the times,
Yeah, it
in
was.
front of people, trying to do your best acting.
Yes. I
And at the
choose
same-
that,
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it was a way to be seen, somehow to be seen, and to, I guess,
Yeah.
I think so.
So one of the primary reasons for you going into acting was the visibility, exposure.
That's not how I felt at that time, but that's how I analyze it now. But at that time, I just felt, okay, that's fun. And I think it's also one of the parts that's fun, because I always like to have fun, to be playful, to connect with people, because you connect a lot on stage with actors, and you need to research a lot and to dig into the person you have in front of you, or the other actors, and dig into a character. So you need to, it's a lot of research in a way, and that I always love to do. So, and I still do. So like to do that. So I think that was one of the,
Yeah. But it did give you at least a background, At
Yeah.
least a sense of clarity on what you want in life further.
Yeah.
You tried everything.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. You try.
So you have a lot of experience in your further life as a business and life coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, let's move on to the main part of the interview, which is coaching.
Mm-hmm.
What's business and life coaching?
What it is, life coach will be someone who is here to not a guide, but to coach you to figure it out, where you want to go, what you want in life, any kind of transition. I have really different kind of clients, so it's a bit, I'm not a person who niche, like we speak a lot about niching, and that's, at least I know that maybe it's a good thing to do, but that's not me. A life coach is really here to listen and to ask question that will make you think and grow and understand yourself better. And it's also, I will say, a safe place that you build, and like safe, that you feel like, okay, I have my coach, I have that time only for me. It's an hour, or depend of the coach, but let's say an hour in my case. It's an hour, and I have that time only for myself to reflect on life and of what is really important to me, what I really want, where I am. Do I want to stay where I am? Do I want to move on? Do I want to... And this is not something that we do really, except in that moment. Okay. So yeah, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love that.
What are the benefits of a business and life coach?
Clarity about your perspective, clarity about who you are. Not that you don't know who you are, but just gaining more clarity. Because all the answer, you have them inside you. And it's basically about clarity and acceptation as well. So I will say it's make you being at choice, like when you go on a journey with a coach, you can at some point in the journey, I had some client that they at the end could decide, like, do I want to quit my job? Do I want to continue? We all have that choice, but really to put it in, to be aware and conscious, to be sure, like to be really aware of that, like, I actually do have a choice. And I know if I take that choice, it's because of that. I know if I take that choice, it's because of that, like my reason behind. Because sometimes we just do things in automatic, pilot, or because it's the way we have been taught, or the way society pushes us to do things because that's the way everyone else is doing. So it's more about realizing you what is important to you, your true value, what you want, and just being as much as possible aligned to that. So choosing, it's
That's amazing. How long have you been a business and life coach?
Officially, or I will say officially will be 3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
Beautiful.
But I have been coaching before. So I took an education after that to become a coach, and I passed the credential with the ICF, which is a International Coaching Federation. So I'm an ACC coach. So I think it's important also to have this graduation, credential,
certified.
Exactly. I mean, for myself, first of all, because I think it's you understand what is coaching about really, and you align with the ethic of the coaching. So that's important. And then of course you can also show to your clients. Then you don't do, that you align with that. Yeah. So I think it's important. Yeah.
Amazing.
So officially 3 years.
Beautiful though. It's beautiful.
As a certified.
So what inspired you to become a business and life coach?
Yeah. So, well, I had that in my mind for many years, actually. Many years. Already when I started my education as an actress. In my education, we learn to coach each other on stage. So this is, and we were calling ourselves coach. Oh, I will coach you on your show. And we learned to, at that time, I didn't know it was really coaching. It was called like that, but it was. You basically guide someone or help. I don't like that word for coaching because coaching is coaching. You're not here to help or save someone. But they had, for example, their show, they were building their show. And then you're here to ask them some question. And of course, with technical skills as well, because they needed technical skills. So it was a bit mix of direction and coaching. And the coaching was really the part of you ask them, what do you want to say? What is your story? What is your character? How would you build your character? How does it look? And blah, blah, blah. And you listen a lot to what they want. It's not you putting your own ideas on them. Yeah. That's what I liked a lot about coaching. And then it get in my head, and stay there in a corner somewhere. And then I became a mom. That was way later, but I became a mom. And then when my son started to go to the what is called not kindergarten, but the nursery, because when they are small, it's nursery. I think I think it is, right?
Nursery,
nursery, right?
Exactly.
So when he started, I was like, oh, what I'm gonna do now?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm lost. I don't know who I am anymore. It was like a kind of it's a big life transition to become a parent, and it's absolutely wonderful. But it's also like, okay, now I'm alone. He's in nursery. What I'm gonna do? Yeah. And then this stay in my head, and then at some point one day I just decided to take the step.
Action.
Action, and I go. Let's find an education. I spoke to a friend that is a coach for now. I think he has been doing this job for 20, 30 years. I mean, quite long. And then I spoke to him. I said, oh, do you know any good schools here in Copenhagen? And so he gave me some names. And then I went to one and I fell in love with what I was doing. I enjoyed myself so much. I was like, this is amazing. It's not school. It's just fun, because I always had the sensation that school will be heavy. And I think that's from my background as a French school is not the most funniest, I will say. It's not the funniest school in the world, or at least not to me. Yeah. So I thought maybe it's going to be hard. I will have to study very hard. It's going to be, I don't know, maybe complicated or I don't know what I imagined. But then I went to this and it was just amazing and a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Before we proceed to the next question, you just said something that was important.
Yeah.
So you moved from France, from Bordeaux to Copenhagen,
Yeah.
right? How how was this? What prompted this move? From
Love
okay, your boyfriend is the Danish.
is Danish.
Okay.
So I met him through the tango because I'm dancing
Yeah.
Argentine tango. And I met him through the tango. And at that time, when we met, we first met and we were not together. But when we started to date, I was on my way to move from France because I needed a break. We could call it almost like a burnout. So I needed a break. I needed to move. I needed a change.
Yeah.
And my idea was to go to Berlin and to Brussels. I wanted to be in two places to try to travel because I love travel. So I was like, oh, that will be wonderful. And it's going to be good for the artistic scene because I knew some people in Brussels. So I was like, I know there is some nice stuff there. And Berlin, I have also heard that it's quite good for the artistic part.
It is very multicultural.
Exactly.
Berlin.
So I was like, that's amazing. I'm going to move there. But then I started, I started dating my boyfriend. And then I was like, okay, I ended up in Copenhagen instead. So love brought me here. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
that's a great move, though. And did you find it amazing so far for the 9 years you've been here?
Yeah, I don't know if amazing. It's the word. It's quite a strong one. Many moments are amazing, and many things here are amazing. But some are also a bit, challenging. As an expat, I think it's always the way you will feel. So, but yeah, so far I like it for sure.
Awesome. So let's get back to our business and life coaching.
Yeah.
What are some steps someone needs to take in if they want to become a business and life coach like you?
First of all, take an education. I think that will be the first step, really, to find. Yeah, number one.
Yeah.
Find an education and find one that is what is called certified by the ICF, like an education that is recognized, by the ICF. Because after, when you need to go, I mean, you don't need to, but if you want to go for the credential and continue your journey as a coach, you will need an education that is kind of approved by the ICF, that is on their network.
Okay.
So that will be the first step. To learn it, to have fun, to connect, to understand what it means to be a coach, to really understand what it is. See if it's for you, see if you like it, and so I will say that will be the first step.
Yeah. What is number 2? Give us number 2.
Well, and now I'm gonna be very coach now, but I will say it depends who you are. I'm not someone who's gonna give, like, let's say a recipe all written, because I think we are all different and we all have different way to function. That's why a coach is very important, because it's not here to give you advice actually, but it's here to ask you question that you figure it out yourself, what is good for you. So yeah, I mean, of course I can say my step, my personal step was first to take an education. Second, it was to build a website. And I mean, the education included after going into coaching session and for yourself and get a lot of people to like coach a lot of people. And this is really part of continuing the process, of course, of growth. But if we speak more about the business part, it was building a website, knowing what you want, a bit of like you identity, how does it look? And it's a bit tricky because it's the beginning and you don't especially know. But I think it's important to start with something. And for me, it was like, okay, if someone asks me, I can show them something, I have a material, I have a brand in a way. And that was, I think, important to build. And I think it's also important to understand that it's going to move, it's going to change. When I build that, and now it's changing, and it will continue to change for sure, to evolve, and that's part of life, right? So Yeah, but that will be the second part. Like for me, it was building websites and yeah, but I mean branding. I will say branding and understanding how a business work
Yeah,
and
that's also
and
an
networking.
important thing.
Yes,
Understanding how business works and networking.
definitely a networking.
How does that work?
And
Yeah.
how does it work? Yeah, I mean here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, often it's like if you have someone that you have coached and then they are happy with with you, you can always, I mean, either they will speak themselves, to other and recommend you or something, but you can also ask, okay, if you know anyone in your, surrounding that will, could benefit from coaching, or you think that will be interesting to, you can always give my name or something like that. You could also, simple thing like that, and ask people to write a recommendation as well. That could be like, again, that's what they feel. Just like, okay, write what you felt, and that's it.
What about pricing?
What about
How someone was starting off? How do they know what prices to put on the?
yeah, they don't know.
They don't know, right?
No.
So how do they
And there
charge
is
if they
no,
have their first client?
yeah, I mean, you ask around, you hear around what are the prices of a coach, and around when you start and when you don't have, for example, yet the credential, even if you're certified, but you don't have the credential, so it's not exactly the same. And you ask around what the price, what should you charge, and my coach and mentor, who is also the person who did I took the education from, she always say at the beginning, yeah, you cannot charge less than. So she was at least helping us, let's see, to have a minimum, that don't charge less than. I mean, in a way that already now this is, this is good. So you can already charge that. So she was giving us a price, and then after, it's really when you grow your business, you speak around, and it's about being aligned to what are your values, and what are the what you bring into people's life. It's quite amazing. It sounds like nothing in a way, and it means a lot. It's a lot. It's really a lot, and I can see it for myself when I started this coaching journey as a client myself. It's like amazing. I mean, how it made me grow, how it made me aware of many things and what I really want, being more happy. Basically, it's so important. It's a really, really, really important. So I will say after, it's really being aligned to your own price. What do you need for living? What you have to figure it out yourself, and it is a question for sure, and it is a journey to find how you price. But it is, it's how it is.
So what are some important coaching tips you teach your client?
That's the funny part, because as a coach, I don't teach my clients because I'm a coach, so I'm asking them questions. So I'm questioning them a lot, and of course there is accountability. So of course, if they need me to do anything, they will tell me, and of course I will be here for them. But I'm not gonna give them, let's see, advice or tips really, except when I ask for. If they ask, or if really at some point I feel, okay, maybe a little, I don't know, breathing exercise will be good here, or something that I feel that's. But most of the time I notice, and I say, okay, did you notice in your body this is happening? Or, oh yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, that's true. I actually, yeah. Okay, so would you like to, try to relax that part? Or yeah, okay, so let's go into some, for example, breathing exercise or something like that. But I'm not gonna give them some exercise or specific thing, except if they ask. When they ask, I definitely can do that. And that's the beauty of coaching, because we are all different. So we don't have one one recipe for everyone. It's like, okay, some people will put first the salt and some will put, first the chili or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the result will be different because we're different people. And that's the beauty of it. And I think that's very important as a coach to really be aware of that and be 100% present with your client and listen to what they want and what they need, and not coming with your own agenda and trying to, think like, oh, that will be good. And sometimes it is difficult because sometimes you see in the person in front of you, you're like, oh, that will be maybe good. And that's, if you start to think that, you're already out,
Yeah.
then you feel like, oh, no, I'm not present anymore. Now I'm in my own, no, I have to be there for the person. So you always have to go back.
True. That's a beautiful way of looking at it. What's the best experience you've had since you started this job?
What I love to see, it's how the clients are blooming, like when they come and with most of the time a lot of self-doubt, as I had and can still have, of course, obviously, like everyone else, every human being. And lack of confidence, or like, I don't know, I cannot do that, or all this. And when I start to feel they affirm themselves much more, like, yeah, you know what, yeah, that's who I am, and I like that, or I want that, and I can start to feel the confidence building in them. And
Okay, let's say I need some business or life coaching today, right?
yes,
And I become one of your clients.
yes.
What will you do to make sure I achieve the best results possible?
Well, what I will do, but first of all, I think our first meeting will be a lot about, I will explain to you what is coaching for me, as I did a little bit before, but and ask you if you align with that, if you feel that it's good for you, It will be like a full session of presentation, let's see. Asking you your value, what is important to you in life. That will be the first of all. So I will know when you're not, it will give me a lot of keys, let's see, to know what is really meaningful for you and what is important to you in life, your values. And then to make sure that you achieve what you want, I'm going to ask you many times. And also, you come today, you will speak about something. Tomorrow, you might speak about something else. And that's really okay. I'm not going to be here to, but so last time we spoke about, not really. That's not the idea. But of course, I'm going to ask you your big, like, your goals, let's see, kind of goals, or what you want, what is important to you, what you would like through the coaching. So I can always refer to that.
So just like any other endeavor, right? We know coaching can be tough and challenging. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with these like tough times and maybe stay disciplined?
If I know I have on the top to build, to grow the business, to marketing, more all of this, and I'm in a bad time, I will pause that. I will not do that. I will deal with my own problem first, my own mental health, physical health, whatever it is, my own health.
Yeah.
And still having my client that I have. And then after, when I gain a bit more energy because things are sorted out, then I go into the...
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Nice. Right. What are some general misconceptions you think people have about coaching?
Well, they think that you're going to bring all the solutions they need to hear from. I think that's one of the big points. They think you're here to give advice, like an advisor or a teacher, to teach, and you're not here for that, or to mentor. You're not a mentor as well. I mean, you can, coach can be a mentor, but that's also two different parts. So I think it's a lot about that. They sometimes want you to have the answer for them. So sometimes some clients are like, so what should I do? I'm like, but I don't know. I mean, it's quite interesting because that's what they come, and what should I do? What would you advise me to do? It's more that, not what should I do, but what would you advise me to do?
Yeah.
And that's not my job to give them an advice about. So then often I return the question, what would you advise yourself to do, or what someone will advise you to do? What do you think I will advise you to do, or whatever? And then it make them think. Why I say that, it's because the person you are coaching, they have the answer for themselves. They are the best knowing themselves. You are the best. You know yourself better than I will ever do, and I know myself better than anyone else. Will ever. So that's why giving an answer or a solution to someone will not always work out, because it can work for some, but not for everyone. So you really need to to listen. So I think that's one of the main misconception, I will say so.
Wow. That's very enlightening, for people to really understand that the difference between a coach and a professional advisor.
Yes, that's really different. Yeah, a counselor.
Counselor also. Because people think maybe a coach is like a specialized counselor in everything.
Yeah, exactly, and it's not. No, exactly. That's true. That's what they think. You're right. Yeah. Also with therapists, I mean, some people also say, well, what is the difference? Or why and it is definitely different.
It is.
For sure.
So we are at the end of our show right now. Is there anything on your mind that you would like to share with the people before we close it?
Well, you're welcome to contact me if our conversation has inspired you. So that's what I want to share. And if my journey has inspired you, and what I want to share also, it's keep continuing trusting yourself and building that part in yourself, this inner voice. Yes.
All right, guys. It's been the Chit Chat Show. We had Audrey on the panel today. Thank you so much for coming, Audrey.
Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure too. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. As we always say, if you do want to contact Audrey, all of her links are going to be in the description.